Hello everyone. Today we are going to look at the topic called computer networking devices. A topic from the last unit. So what are networking devices? Networking devices are the components used to connect the computers. If you have two or more computers, we will be able to connect these computers with the help of networking devices. Okay, so you may have 20 systems in one lab and other 20 systems in another lab. You'll be able to connect these systems together with the help of networking devices. And one system can be connected with another system with the help of LAN networks with the help of these networking devices. And these devices are also called as communicating devices. So we have different devices. Under networking devices, we have hubs, repeaters, bridges, switches. And under internetworking devices, routers, or we can also pronounce it as routers, gateways, routers. So we'll see what are these networking devices and internetworking devices. Networking devices will work in one LAN or different segments of a LAN. Within LAN. Whereas internetworking devices can be used within LAN as well as WAN, wide area network. Over the internet, if you want to connect one LAN segment to the another LAN segment, which is located somewhere in the other part of the world, you can go for the internetworking devices. So this is the division. What are the different networking devices and what are the different internetworking devices. And these connecting devices will work at different layers of the TCP/IP model. So as we all know, these are the 5 layers of TCP/IP model. So these devices will work at different layers. If you take the networking devices, bridges, hubs, and switches, which will work only in the physical and data link layer. Coming to the internetworking devices like routers, gateways, and routers will work in the network layer and above the network layer, and it'll work. So try to remember, hubs and repeaters will work in the physical layer and data link layer. So starting with the networking devices. So before going into networking device, I told you already in the previous units that each and every system is embedded with the NIC card. This NIC card is called as network interface card. It looks somewhat like this. Every system or every laptop will have this internally. It will have one address. We call that address as physical address, or we can also call it as MAC address. It is usually 48 bits. 48 bits. This is embedded. The MAC address is embedded on this network address, on this NIC card. And it is vendor specific. Vendor, when you buy the computer itself, each and every system has got one unique physical address which will be embedded on this NIC card. Okay, so what for you need this NIC card? Why the physical address? So you need to identify your system uniquely with the other systems. This NIC card will help you out to connect your system to the cable. So whatever cables are running from your system can be connected with the help of NIC card. So this is NIC card, which will have a physical address or a MAC address. Coming to the first networking type of devices, hubs. Hubs are of two types, passive hubs and active hubs. Passive hubs will work beneath the physical layer. We have seen in the earlier diagram that passive hubs will work beneath the physical layer. It is just a passive hub. Actually, does it exist or not? We cannot say. But it will work beneath the physical layer. And active hub will work in the physical layer. So we'll see what are these active hubs and hubs. So passive hubs connect all ports together. This is your hub. It will connect all the ports. Let's suppose I have around 4 systems which I want them to be connected in the LAN. So what do I do according to the star topology? We have learned different topologies already. So according to the star topology, all these 4 systems must be connected to one single hub. So it will connect all the 4 systems to this hub. Usually hub may have 4 ports, or it may have more number of ports, like 16 ports also it can have even 8 ports or something like that. So passive hubs are used to connect all the systems together. Coming to the active hubs, these active hubs are also called as repeaters over here. They are used to clean up the signals or amplify the signals, and they are used to broadcast the signals to the other part of the hubs. So what is this broadcasting? What is cleaning up? We'll see in the next slides. So hubs are devices used to link several computers together. Okay, so this will work at the physical layer of the OSI model or TCP/IP model. So repeaters are nothing but your active hubs. How they are different from your passive hubs? So these are repeaters. Just like your hubs, these are called as repeaters. But what do they do? What do they do? How they are different from your normal hubs, that is passive hubs? So these repeaters remove the unwanted noise in an incoming signal, and they're mainly used for regenerating the electrical signals, incoming electrical signals. So what do we mean by this regeneration of a signal? We will see. Where do we use these repeaters and why do we use these repeaters? These are some Ethernet standards which we have learned already in the previous chapters. So we have Ethernet standard, which is a 10^T application and whose capacity is 100 meters. That means when you use this type of Ethernet, you can transmit the signal up to 10 meters. Sorry, 100 meters. So what happens is, the signal after traveling for 100 meters, it will get degenerated. If you use a repeater after the 100 meters, what happens is this repeater will regenerate that signal and will bring that signal to the stable. Will regenerate the signal, the original signal will be sent to the thing. So mainly repeaters are used to regenerate the signals. See, there is a difference between repeaters and amplifiers. Amplifiers also can be used after 100 meters, but these amplifiers will improve the quality of the signals, will amplify the signals, whereas repeaters will just regenerate the signals. The same original signal will be brought again, the quality is same, but over here the quality is improved. So these are repeaters. So these are hubs. You can connect number of systems to the hub. The main thing with the hub is it will broadcast the signal. Let's suppose system A, this system want to transmit the information to the system. So it will send the signal or it will send the packet to the hub, and the hub will broadcast. Broadcast means it will send that signal or it will send that packet to each and every system connected to that hub. This is the main thing with the hubs. So what are the main 2 disadvantages of these hubs or repeaters is it can't filter the network traffic. This is one thing. And what is one more disadvantage is it will send the packets to all other LAN segments of the network. Just now as we have seen, if it want to send a packet, it will be broadcasted to all the other systems. And what is one more thing is it can't filter the network traffic. What is network traffic? If these 2-3 systems want to send the packets at the same time, all will be received by the hub at the same time. So the network traffic will increase. It will be a bottleneck for hub or repeater to manage this network traffic. So these are the 2 disadvantages of the repeaters. So that is why we have other kind of devices called as bridges. So what are these bridges? Where do we use these bridges? Bridges are mainly used to filter the traffic. Filter the traffic based on the MAC address. Repeaters will not check the MAC address. Whatever packets it will receive, that packets will be broadcasted to all the systems on the network. But whereas your bridges, based upon the MAC address, based upon the physical address of the packet, it will forward that packets to only to the destination system. That is one main difference between your repeater and a bridge. Okay, so it can do two things. If it identifies the MAC address, it will forward the packet to only that system. But in case if it doesn't identify the address, then it will forward the packets to all the segments. Okay, these are more intelligent than repeaters. Bridges are said to be more intelligent than repeaters. Why? Because they'll identify the MAC address. And these repeaters mainly are used to join similar topologies and are used to divide the network segments. That means you have here 20 systems connected with the star topology, and you have the other 20 systems connected with some other topology. Let's suppose token bus or token ring topology. Using bridge, you cannot connect these two things. Bridges are mainly used to connect. See the example. Bridges are used. This is a bridge. Bridges are used only to connect two similar types of networks. See here, this is a LAN which is connected with the help of star topology. This is another LAN connected with the help of star topology. Then you can use a bridge in order to connect this two LAN segments. Let's suppose here it is a star topology, but over here we are using a token bus or token ring. You will not be able to use the bridge to connect these two different kinds of topologies. That is one main thing with the bridge. And one more thing is, these bridges are said to be two-port devices. Only two ports you will have. Most of the bridges. You have advanced bridges also where you have more number of ports. But mostly the bridges will have only two ports. One for the input, one will act as an input port and the other will act as a output port. So what are the main disadvantages of the bridges? They can't connect dissimilar network types. Okay, and okay, that is the disadvantage. Now coming to the types of bridges, there are two types of bridges: transparent bridges and source routing bridges. So transparent bridges are the bridges where the stations are unaware that the bridge is existing. So reconfiguration of stations is unnecessary. So here if you just see the example, this bridge is connected to between these two stations, but these two stations are unaware that there is a bridge existing between these networks. So how the bridge will identify these segments is with the help of route learning and bridge forwarding. Bridge learning and bridge forwarding mechanism. The bridges will learn about these two segments. Transparent bridges are the bridges where the stations are unaware that the bridge is available. Let's suppose host A want to send a packet to the host D. Then it will, these are intelligent than repeaters. So the bridge will, through this hub 1, the bridge will receive the packet. It will check the MAC address. If it is able to identify the destination address, it will forward that packet to the host D. Okay. Otherwise it will broadcast the packet to all the hosts on that particular LAN segment. So this is about your bridge and this is about your transparent bridges. You have other kind of bridges called as source bridges. So source bridges where the route from the source to the destination is decided by the source station itself. That is, host A would like to send a packet to host D. Then host A itself will decide the path. It will send the packet to hub 1 and it will clearly the information will be there in the packet that it has to pass through this bridge, it has to pass to hub 2 and it has to reach the host. That is, the source itself will specify the path in the frame. In the frame, the path will be specified. This kind of bridges where the source itself will identify, source itself will give the path, this we call it as source root bridges. So how does the source root will identify the route? That is, the host can discover frame by sending a special frame called discovery frame. So initially, before sending the original packets, what does this source will do is, it will send one packet called as discovery frame. This discovery frame is spread through the entire network. And from there it will learn the network addresses or the MAC addresses of all the destinations which are spread over that network. So these are the two kinds of bridges. Then you have other networking devices called as switches. Switches are also same as your bridges. It can be intelligent, unlike repeaters. Repeaters will broadcast the packet to all the systems on the LAN, but whereas bridges will identify the destination address and will be able to send the packets to only that destination. The switches are also same. They are also considered to be as intelligent. But one main difference between your bridge and switch is, switches are multi-port bridges. Multi-port bridges. As we have seen in the earlier slides, that bridge will have only two ports. One will act as a input and other will act as a output. But whereas here in the switch, you will have multiple ports. This is also a data link layer device, and apart from these bridges responsibilities, it can do the other things. That is, it can perform, switch can perform error checking before forwarding the data. So that is why it is said to be more efficient than your bridges. So it will check whether that packet has any errors or not, and accordingly it will send the packets. So it can even do the collision domain of host. That is, when two or more hosts are sending the packets at the same time, it can handle that collisions. Among multiple ports, one port remains as a broadcast domain, broadcast port. So if it sends the packet to that port, it will be broadcasted to all the other hosts. In switches, you will have multiple ports. One port will act as a broadcast port. Okay. Now coming to the main difference between your hub and a switch. Hub is also used to connect different systems with different ports, multiple ports. Here switch is also able to connect number of systems with the help of multiple ports. But what is the main difference? Hub, if you see, this is the difference. This is the hub. If hub's capacity is 10 Mbps, this 10 Mbps is shared among all the systems which are connected to the hub. But if switch capacity is 10 Mbps, this 10 Mbps is fully used by different systems connected to a switch. That means this hub can use 10 Mbps, this can use 10 Mbps, and this can also use full 10 Mbps. Whereas with the hubs, this 10 Mbps is shared. Maybe this will use 3, this will use 4, and the other one will use 3. Likewise, it will share the capacity, but whereas switch, it is possible to communicate with the fully 10 Mbps capacity. So this is one more difference between your hub and switch. So enough for this video. Internetworking devices will cover in the next video. Stay tuned. Thank you.